Great. Okay. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yaseen. My neighbour has a fish tank, so I'll see what fun I can do tonight on that. First of all, I can say, Scott, yourself and your team, thank you very much for arranging this event. It's great after COVID coming out to events like this, seeing people in person. So to yourself and your team, I would say thank you very much for that. And obviously with COVID, we've obviously seen the impact that's had in so many different ways across the board. We've seen individuals, well, entire humanity get together, overcome the problems we've had, and it's just great to see these events. But at the same time, we recognize that the digital element of making sure that we can all communicate has helped in such a lovely way. And education sector in its own right has been affected, for those of you who have children at home or family members, where we've also seen a bit of a digital divide potentially with the term digital poverty being used in terms of so many individuals having access to laptops, but then starting to have a decision as to who is going to use that item for primary school, secondary school, university, or even work for that matter. And this event is an opportunity not only to celebrate or recognize the importance of digital, but also to recognize some of the rapid developments in digital, but also what we're seeing in Milton Keynes and the changes in Milton Keynes as well. So if I can move on. Oh, right, my picture again. Right, great. So lovely, you had to see it twice. So I'll swiftly move on. So the Institute of Technology may be a new term for many individuals. And in short, the term itself was branded around about 4 or 5 years ago by the government. It's reality now, and for ourselves, it's a second year of operation. And it's a new type of provider. And the main area of this element is that there's a particular focus. So some institutes will focus on engineering or manufacturing, and for us, we're focusing specifically on digital technology. And the aim is that it collaborates between employers, further education providers, and universities as well. And one of the key areas I want to highlight is that we do have access to facilities which enable us to make sure that our learners, our individuals who enroll with our programs are actually using cutting-edge technology and facilities so that they are ready for the workforce. And the key area is also to make sure we have high-quality training so that individuals have clear links, not only for further progression in terms of higher education, but also with employment as well. So there's no test after this, okay? I'm not expecting people to recognize all that. But there's only 21 in the entire country, and we are right here as well. And this is a great endorsement by the government, recognition of the skills, talent within this particular region, whereby they are investing heavily so that we can transform the local landscape amongst Milton Keynes and wider area and community as well. So I'm going to just take a minute, and if I could just show you this short video, just a minute. He says, and I'm looking around thinking, my 3 years of a computer science degree is not helping. So it's embedded in, but it seems to have just. No, doesn't want to play.
It won't play. No.
Okay, no problem. It's not playing, but you'll have to take my word for it. It was fantastic, and the video, I probably need to give a quick little apologies. I know with the previous video you didn't win any awards, but we actually won one. So if I can just, Ollie, thank you for thank you, Ollie. So that was the Business Achievement Award for Design and Creativity, even though you didn't even see it, and we won the award. So that's how good it was. But with ourselves, we are based in Bletchley, and our campus itself is based on the original Bletchley site itself. And we are working in conjunction with Activate Learning, with a new delivery partner in Oxford opening in September. So we have Bletchley, Oxford and Reading, and we really want to sort of work in this particular region amongst the 3 sites that we have to bring high quality technical skills to the local population. And some of the local, although we've only been in operation for 2 years in its own right, we are pressing ahead with a build over 20 million. We have a range of employers and partners involved with our delivery, which we'll talk about shortly, and also over 1,000 learners who have been involved with the training directly within our site itself. And some of the key drivers are our values, and the first one is that of inclusion. And the reason why we highlight this is that sometimes a barrier for individuals is the fact that there's always some sort of strict entry criteria to access different areas. So what we want to do is we want to break those barriers down. And just to give you an example, we have a learner who came to this country a few years ago, 7 years ago, managed to complete a course in healthcare, decided to change over to computer science, and managed to raise 3 children, 1 born during COVID, as well as studying as well. And under normal circumstances would have found it difficult to access this type of education we've been able to provide. The other area is of innovation, and a key driver for us is to always think differently. And one of the terms that we use is we're always in beta mode. We're always thinking of how to change, how to modify, how to improve. And then using our connections, and events like this is absolutely great. And some of you have already received some LinkedIn connections, partly because we want to certainly work with individuals, but please feel free to be in touch. Where we want to develop that community and have that thriving environment for learners to understand what sort of skills they need for the future. And also challenge as well. And we're quite strong on that element of challenge. We have a case study here of Deborah, who's actually joining us on the table as well. And you can see she's quite clear as to where she wants to be working, and some really high-profile companies there, and we're working towards that to support her in that aim. But within that challenge as well, although we are involved in education, we are different as well. And we were successful in achieving a bid from the Department for Education. And as a result of that, we had quite a challenge in its own right. So in year, we had an opportunity to upskill, retrain professionals, and we worked on professional Microsoft certified courses. And that's when we got in touch with Scott and 123. And it was quite a challenge between November and March, I think about a 5-month period. We worked on a range of different avenues of promoting different pathways. And we had quite interesting results. So some of the online social media marketing that we did with 123 gave us quite interesting areas. So one of those is that we received funding to support training here in England. We worked on Milton, Keynes, a wider region. We had applications from Italy, Albania, Nigeria, India, Taiwan, and Philippines as well. So you can see how we had such a reach. We obviously had to, unfortunately, decline those particular offers at that stage because the funding was restricted. But it gives an impression of the impact of social media, and it's certainly helped us in terms of our area moving forward. And as a result of that, we had over 900 enrollments. We've had instances where someone even managed to book a Microsoft exam on the day of their wedding. I don't know how they managed to think, having an AZ 900 exam on the same day as their wedding was a good idea. But in fairness, they did reschedule, and we were polite enough to do so. But I would like to think that they're so engrossed with the educational content with ourselves that they even forgot their wedding day. Anyway, so moving on, what we have here is that we had such a great representation and response from the local community as well. And what's interesting is that we've had over 76% of our employers fed back that if it wasn't for this training, they would have struggled to put their staff forward. So it gives us an indication as to what we need to do to support local businesses moving forward. And one key highlight to take away is how we evaluated the prior attainment of those individuals who started on our programs. So sometimes we think in the high-tech digital world, there's individuals who are highly qualified in order to access programs, but you can see from here, those with level 7+, or degrees, master's level plus, as well as those with no qualifications, we had the same level of entrance at 20% each. So really it shows and demonstrates the very first value I talked about earlier about inclusion, that as we are moving forward and individuals move on forward in their careers and lifetime, that we need to have that opportunity to access all provision appropriately. And what did we learn from that? So a few points that we learned. First of all, individuals want things on demand. And that's something that we're really thinking about, and we'll discuss how we've moved on from that. Another area is that they want to have different drop-in points as well. So the traditional method of education, where you start at a certain point and finish at a point, has really changed quite drastically, especially in a post-COVID world, where that on-demand and study when they want to between family events is a key area to move forward. And also moving direction as well. Lots of individuals want the flexibility to take the qualification and move it about, and hence having the opportunity to stack your individualized units moving forward. So you can do a bite-sized element as and when you want, and then moving forward, you can develop that into a larger qualification. So we've taken that forward, and what is our response? So in the first instance, what we'd like to say is that our programs offer both full-time and part-time pathways, but more importantly, we're working on having a more blended delivery opportunity, and we're developing the content for that. Opportunities to have shorter masterclasses as well, and also making sure that we're able to have some professional certification attached to the qualifications we have, for example, those of Microsoft. And within the pathways, we've listened to our clients, our learners, and we have the range of the 5 digital pathways you can see running along the top there. But what I would also like to say is ourselves as an organization, we are working with examining bodies, awarding bodies, and we've actually developed the qualifications which actually other centers are using as part of their learning and training as well. But one area I would like to bring to your attention as well is certainly for training for your staff, for apprentices. We have a range of opportunities of apprenticeships available as well. And I think the areas mentioned earlier, Nathan, thank you for the depth that you went into cybersecurity and elements related to data. Those are some of the areas that we cover as part of our program. So if you have any particular development training needs in the world of digital marketing, ICT, data and software, that's something we can certainly support and develop you as well. But this event is also an opportunity to showcase what is happening here locally. And we have a significant investment in our building as well. You can see in these 2 particular pictures some cranes and work that's going on. But what we are doing is that we are extending our current building. And this facility is not just for us, but it's for you as a community as well. So this time next year, I think, we should be looking something like this, artist impression, but we are moving forward to make sure that we have high-tech equipment and facilities for you to access, for you to book. Corporate events, as people are an organization now getting back out into world and not just having meetings online, but if you want to book corporate events, we can do that as well. And as part of that investment, it's not just buildings, but it's also equipment and supporting that equipment as well. So earlier we identified the world of immersive technology moving forward, AR, VR, mixed reality. We are purchasing from September onwards Tesla suits so that our learners who are here are actually developing real-life projects with employers. We've purchased some equipment as well, which enables you to actually film, video yourself in these suits and actually create games as well. And that's something that our real-life projects students are going to be working on, as well as creating escape rooms. And it's likely that if you were to come to our campus, you'll be greeted by Pepper, the robot, who's going to be programmed efficiently by our learners in terms of supporting the whole concept of AI, human-computer interaction, and actually developing a skill set that moves their understanding forward in a changing world. But this opportunity is also for me to reach out to you and see how you can potentially get involved in our local community and help the local skill set and our learners who are at some stage going to be hopefully your potential employees. So at this particular moment in time, we have a range of employees involved with the delivery. So in this particular example, we have 2 members of staff from Microsoft who one is in Brazil, believe it or not, and delivering. Other times we've had individuals from the US. So there's an opportunity for individuals to have work alongside our members of staff and support them as a dual professional. And as a result of that, what we are also doing is recognizing the support that you can give, whether that's a presentation, whether that's delivering particular content, or even supporting us with the design of what certain units should be. So this is an opportunity for you to get in touch with that as well. And one key area that we have focused on is how the specialism within the industry, within this room, can be taken forward. So some of our staff, so if I can mention Paul. Paul used to be the VP at McAfee Research and Development. You don't get a bigger cyber expert than that. So, you know, we've really recruited high-quality individuals to support us with the apprenticeship delivery. So if there's any particular training needs in there, that'd be great for you to come on board. But also within the investment side, we have different individuals. So there's an example there of Andrew and Alexandra. Both of these individuals supporting our learners to deliver, and what we want to do is we want to recognize the dedication of organizations and individuals from our partners for their huge contribution. And as a result of that, we are working with not only individuals and organizations, but we're also issuing an opportunity for visiting lecturer status. So individuals are using that already on their LinkedIn profiles, opportunity for you to give something back to the community. And if that's something that you would be interested in, we could certainly have that continuing conversation moving forward as well. But I'll also say, why wouldn't you want to get involved? First and foremost, what we have is we're involved in such a different range of activities. So top left, Alex, our principal, who's here as well, and our learners involved in discussions at DFE, and doing a presentation nationally and talking about the future of education. We have BBC on our case as well to look at the work that we're doing. You can see an apprentice top right who is giving an interview about the work that she has been doing with us. I've already mentioned the award. That's us picking up that award that we mentioned earlier. And then also our individual students learners being involved with community events. So the bottom right picture, some of you from Milton Keynes may recognize the Festival of Lights that happens every year. So our learners are involved in the next Festival of Lights production, which will take place in October as well. So we have learners who are involved at a local, national, regional level as well, but more importantly, involved in the local community as well. So I hope from the Institute of Technology point of view, you have a clear understanding where we are, what we do, how we can engage with one another. More importantly, the facilities that we have are not just blocked off to ourselves, it's open to you all. And if you want to, we have an open event next week. For those of you who haven't seen enough of my face for today, you could come and spend a further few hours with me as well. But more importantly, if there's any individuals that you feel would benefit from our open event where you can show the building, bit of a building site at the moment from one side, but we do have sections which are clear from health and safety we could show you around, but also engage in a meaningful discussion as to what we could do for their particular future as well. So with that, Scott, I'll end. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time.